What kind of bike do you have?
It's a sledgehammer.
Dang. You got shocks, pegs. Lucky. You ever take it off any sweet jumps?
I'm the searching line. Honey, I'm still free. Take a chance on me. If you need me, let me know. Gonna be around. If you got no place to go, you can down.
All righty, good morning to you. This is 93.1 at the Mighty 1190. We got Emery and our officer of the month here debating which is worse, being tased or pepper sprayed. Emery says he'd rather be pepper sprayed.
I'd rather be pepper sprayed every day of the month of June than to be tased one time again, ever again.
Pepper spray will last about 30 to 45 minutes. And then you get worried about hot flash when you get in the shower and everything else. I'd rather get tased, be done with it, 5 seconds and be done.
I will say this, how do you pronounce your last name?
Ciminna.
Ciminna.
Yeah, way to go, Emery.
Yeah, well, I should have asked ahead of time, but I got to talking and forgot it. But Officer Ciminna doesn't look old enough to have done all the things that he's done for as long. I'll just tell you that right off the get-go. Yeah. 7 years in the Coast Guard, been to Alaska, all over. I'm like, when?
Wow, you were 7 years in the Coast Guard? When did you go to the Coast Guard? When you were 13?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long have you been in some capacity serving between the Coast Guard and the police force?
It'd be almost 9 years now, overall.
Wow.
Wow.
What did you do in the
started
Coast Guard?
doing...
I started off as a machinery technician, which is like a machinist mate for the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
Worked on engines. In Alaska, I worked on our ground support equipment that pulled the helicopters in and out, and all of our generators, our backhoe, all that. Then about 2 years into it, I switched to maritime enforcement specialist, which is like a water cop, and then did that, and I still do that now.
Yeah, like the Coast Guard has a reserve program, or as
correct. We have there's active duty, civilian, and reserve components for the Coast Guard. I did the active duty portion in 2015. Me and my wife, she was actually in the Coast Guard also. Met her in Alaska. She's the one that brought me back here, but we both got out in 2015. I stayed in the reserves. I drove out of Wilmington.
Where are you from, actually?
Clearwater, Florida area.
Clearwater, Florida. The crazy people all live in Florida. I've noticed that from
That's
doing.
why he left.
I hate hearing the news.
Oh man, it's people in Florida are nuts.
Every time I hear it, I'm like,
it must be the
Florida.
water.
Please don't be Florida. Crap, that's Florida.
Yeah,
It's going to be Florida.
They say that you're a true professional at what you do, courteous and respectful. You've only been with Monroe Police Department, what, a little over a year?
Yes, sir. About a year and a half.
Several letters commending you on ways that you've assisted people, which is, any chief would be happy to get those letters. That means you're doing something right, because chief gonna get letters regardless. It's nice when they say, hey, he was good.
Nice fella.
Instead of, you'll be hearing from my attorney. That's the one you don't want to get. So good for you. But department was contacted by a commander of the Unionville VFW with a situation about a veteran. Somebody called 911. This veteran was staying at a motel in Monroe and was in need of assistance. You responded to the call, did a well-being check. The man then told you he needed some financial assistance for a sick child, and you notified the VFW commander and helped get all that going. And then it says you gave him some money out of your pocket too. So yes, that's just seems like that's nothing to do with law enforcement. That's just what somebody does to help somebody. That has nothing to do with the police department, really, does it?
No,
that's
sir,
just
not at all.
Feeling like you needed to help. So you're very kind-hearted, shy. Oh, why'd they put shy in there? Afraid of tall women.
What?
No, no, that's me. Never mind.
Hey, listen, he's going to jump on the Taze bandwagon. I'm telling you, dog.
Do you like Monroe? Do you like being here in this department?
I do.
All right. Well, being from Clearwater, Florida, and then going to Alaska, and then where else did you say?
Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston, Massachusetts.
Cuba.
And then here. And then how do you get to Monroe?
My wife.
Is she from here?
She's actually born and raised Parkwood.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
So you met a Parkwood girl in Alaska?
I did.
What in the world?
She's
the only person from West Edge ever been to Alaska. I guarantee you. Wow. What? Just a chance meeting?
No, we were at the same unit. She was a cook when I was a mechanic. So she fed me and.
See, that's the way the women. That's the way it always happens. Women, they feed you one time, and then you end up looking like me.
Boy, she makes good macaroni and cheese.
Oh yeah,
I'll marry you.
Yeah, that's right. Let's get married. Y'all got kids?
No, sir.
No children?
No.
What do you do? Are you patrol with
Yes, sir.
Monroe?
Patrol. Right now, I'm on the west side of the city.
Mm-hmm. What would you like to do? Do you enjoy patrol or whatever your next, I don't want to say advancement because some people just enjoy what they do, but what would be another part of the department you'd like to do?
I do love the job I'm at now, but I did put in for traffic.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just waiting to hear back on traffic.
So write tickets.
Right tickets.
See, I liked you right up till right then. Then y'all get, I don't know why y'all get so upset about people not having license. If you know how to drive, you...
Right. What do you mean I need a license?
Yeah. You have intentions of staying around here?
Yes, sir.
Well,
Definitely.
good. That's real good. What part of Alaska were you in?
Sitka. It's in the Aleutian, or not Aleutian chain. It's the southeast corner of Alaska. It's closest to Canada, where Juneau, the capital, is.
Mm-hmm.
That area.
Is it as...
The cold part.
Not as cold. I've been to Fairbanks and Kenai and Anchorage, and that's a lot worse.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is there as little to do there as it looks like on television?
Yes, we had 14 miles of roadway in Sitka. It was an actual island. The only way on or off was either by boat or plane, and I didn't own either, so I stayed there a lot.
Oh, wow.
I'd go crazy.
Yes, it's like, so what is there to do? Watch that bear.
Yeah, exactly.
we can fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you fish.
Mm-hmm.
Fish,
Okay,
and build
about
a
it.
fire. That's all.
Fish
But, I
and
mean,
stay
yeah, some
warm.
fresh seafood, though. The king crab and the salmon
wow.
was amazing.
I bet so. I bet you probably couldn't get that anywhere else.
Yeah.
And how long did you stay in Alaska?
I was there for about 2.5 years.
Wow. So long enough to say you did a sentence.
Yeah.
You know, there. And then from Alaska to Boston?
Yeah, I went to our maritime safety and security team. It's like a deployable small boat station. We had 6 25-foot boats, and we deployed anywhere within the U.S., Cuba, and then certain spots overseas.
Wow. And that was based out of Boston?
Yes, sir.
Now, when you do a drill weekend, you go down to Wilmington and then you go out and patrol the coast?
Yep. We'll usually go with the local PD, Wilmington PD, or New Brunswick, or New Hanover. We'll go out on the water with them and do boats. Actually, this weekend, I'm going to Lake Wiley with the Sheriff's Office, Gaston County Sheriff's Office, and Charlotte Mecklenburg PD. We'll be going on the water there.
Do you feel like the Coast Guard, because obviously, you know, Monroe, you ain't going to be a lot in a boat, but do you feel like just...
Well, lately you might have been.
Yeah, you might be going down Haines Street, but do you feel like the Coast Guard has helped in the police work?
Yes. Because we don't have a big bat belt like we do here.
Mm-hmm.
The only partner I have is one other person on the boat with me, and my help is so many nautical miles away if I have anything. So it helped me use my mouth more than anything else. To get me out of trouble or face trouble.
Yeah. Well, I guess that is a good trait to have, to be able to. You got to know how to handle people. Your job comes down to people.
If you don't have speaking skills, it's not the job
yeah,
to have.
It doesn't matter. I got a really good friend of mine who's a South Carolina state trooper, and he told me, he said, you can take somebody to jail and have them smiling and being respectful if you do it right. He said, I don't care what anybody says. It's all in how you. He said, now, yeah, every once in a while you run across one that's
on the poppy.
He said, it ain't going to matter how you act, but the vast majority of the time, the way you act is a direct reflection of how they treat you.
I've had people apologize when I take them to jail. I've had people shake my hand saying thank you. I've had people that have said other things. That
You better hope I don't
get
get
that
out.
bleeper ready. Yeah, get that bleeper ready.
Wow.
So it's just the two of you on a boat?
Usually it's a 4-man boat, but two have to stay
People are
on.
driving it.
Yeah, you have the man
Okay.
that's driving it and the man that's the watchman on the boat. And then me and my partner will go on the other vessel to do our inspections.
See, I don't want to be the one watching. Just be, look out!
Right, exactly.
Well,
I don't want to drive the boat. That's too much responsibility, too.
yeah, I bet it is. I bet it is. Do you, when you came to Monroe, did the training that you had in the Coast Guard, did you still have to go through BLET and all that stuff?
I did. None of it transferred over. At the time, the state was still working on getting military training involved in BLET.
I got you.
But at that time, it wasn't afforded me yet. I know, like a year later, they decided to some things.
Well,
Not really us, but MPs and that kind of stuff.
Monroe's got 3 lakes, but you can throw a rock across about all of them.
Yeah.
So you don't really need a boat. You just need a net scoop to get somebody out. But no, that sounds. You seem like a very young man to have done as as much stuff as you've done. That's for sure. That's
Almost as much as Forrest Gump.
Yeah, you've been a lot of places in a short amount of time. How old are you?
30.
30.
Yes, sir.
Oh, he doesn't look 30 at all.
No, no.
If you want to see what he looks like, I'm sure the ladies want to. If you ladies want to see what he looks like,
You better watch
go
it.
on
Now, his
Facebook.
wife's from Parkwood.
Oh, I
She'll
know.
cut you.
She's from Rough Edge.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh.
You know why they call it that, don't you? They're rough around the edges.
My name's Archie Morgan.
No, well, listen, they obviously think you're doing a good job and are proud of you. So we're gonna, in the grand scheme of things, I don't know how much this will mean, but we like to give every officer a little plaque when they get nominated for this and win it. So just
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
hang it up and proudly display it behind the toilet or something. You know, somewhere nice where people can see it on the wall. Well, that's the one place everybody's going to go eventually.
Tase Shane for the kids. I'm telling you.
Does the time that you put in because that's not a state, it doesn't help with your retirement for state either, does it?
I can pay into it. I can pay for however many years I have, so I can retire early. But because I'm kind of getting in the game a little later in life, I'm not going to be doing a full 30 years with Monroe. I'll be actually aged out, which for us is retirement at 55.
I got you.
So I'll be doing roughly about 26 years.
I got you. So you're set. You plan on being here to
I'll be doing my reserves all the way to 30, just like Chief P did, our old assistant chief. He did his Army reserves, and then he did the PD. I think he ended up with 32 years for the Army and 30 years with.
No, that's awesome. So you're planning on sticking with the Coast Guard reserves.
Yes.
You're gonna continue to do that.
That retirement's too good, especially medical benefits.
Yeah. No, that makes.
Now, does the Coast Guard, I know, the Coast Guard ever get deployed?
They do. Ours is more on a voluntary basis.
Okay.
If I want to, I can put in a letter saying that I request to. But natural disasters, Hurricane Sandy, Katrina.
Did you go to any of that
also-
hurricane?
I went to Hurricane Sandy and I did the Boston bombing.
Oh
It
my God!
It was in Boston. I was there.
You know that Hurricane Sandy. That always seemed to me like only thing I have it to compare to is Hugo. But I remember when Hurricane Hugo came through, even inland, how bad it was. Television didn't do it justice, and I can imagine with Sandy, it really didn't do it justice because that was a monstrosity of a storm. I mean, that was not. Television didn't do that justice.
The creepiest thing, because I was on night watch for that, is seeing the entire city of New York blacked out, not a single light on.
Now, see, yeah, that would be creepy.
That was just
Creepy.
so weird driving through. I mean, we lost lower units from our boats because of floating refrigerators and pilings that broke off because of the storm. So they tore off. I mean, it was just crazy to see because I've gone to New York so many times because I'm so close. We do 9/11 all the time there, and seeing that and seeing what it was on Hurricane Sandy. And we went and helped down Staten Island where they got hit the hardest with recovery, and it's crazy seeing the things that I've seen.
Yeah, and then I guess with the Boston Marathon deal, that was just all that was so fast. I mean, a hurricane, you know, it's coming 2 weeks before it gets there. That was instant. It
Right.
just happened, and then everybody had to, I guess, you know, be in action about it. But that's I hope you don't have to deal with anything like that here. I hope the worst thing here is, you know, you gotta, you know, pull somebody over for running from the law or say, you know, let's keep it simple.
Definitely.
Don't
Or
bring
helping
any of that
direct
here.
traffic on July 4th.
Yeah, that's right. At the
Yeah.
parade.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Let's keep it low key.
I'm good for that.
Well, listen, man, thank you for your service in the Coast Guard and thank you for your service here at Monroe and y'all be nice to him and he'd be nice to you if he pulls
That's
you
right.
over. So you think you'll get the traffic gig?
I don't know. Hopefully, whoever is listening,
Yeah, that's
someone
right.
The powers that
has
be.
the power.
Yeah, the powers that be will lift
We'll
you
start
ever.
We'll start two things. Tase for the kids. And let me be on traffic.
Yeah, and we just have, if I ever get pulled over, my name is Bob Rogers. I need you to- that's where the ticket needs to go. Stanfield, North Carolina. Hey, man, thank you.
Thank you
We
very
appreciate
much.
it. That's the Talk of the Town segment. We got more of the Breakfast Club coming up. Y'all sit tight.